What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fam, 49er gang? This your boy 49er Dion here, back with another video. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on them post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. So with that being said, man, let's get right on into it. Man, we got a game coming up against the Eagles. So let's go ahead and just start with the guys that are not playing. Let's just make it happen. So for us, the 49ers, no Dee Ford, no Jimmy Garoppolo, no Dre Greenlaw, no Emmanuel Mosley, no Akello Witherspoon, no TC, no Raheem, no Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed is out 6 to 8 weeks with a knee sprain because of that trash-ass field in MetLife Stadium that the NFL continues to say there's nothing wrong with, I guess. But those are the guys that are out for us. So we have so much to get into in this video, so much. So basically for the Eagles, we try and take a look at them. So the people that are out for the Eagles, Deshaun Jackson, Avonte Maddox, which is their starting defensive back, as opposite of Darius Slay. Trevor Williams, one of their linemen, Alshon Jeffrey, and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is doubtful, so he probably won't play. The Eagles have been just as decimated by injuries as we have, man. Earlier in the week, their injury report was flat out ridiculous, man. It was just as bad as ours, you know what I mean? So, like I said, our J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Jamon Brown, Fletcher Cox, Jack Driscoll, Rudy Ford, Deshaun Jackson, Avonte Maddox, Jason Peters, Trevor Williams. Like, these were dudes who all did not practice earlier in the week. So we're not the only team being decimated by injuries here, guys. So we don't have to really worry about that too much. But those are the outs for both of us. Now, here's the beauty of it for us. We get George Kittle and Deebo Samuel back. Now, we've only got one real negative, guys, and I'm sorry that I have to even say this. Because Akello and Mosley are out, we got to start Dante Johnson opposite Jason Verrett. So, I ain't feeling real comfortable about Dante Johnson. Not at all. Not by any stretch of the imagination do I feel comfortable with him being on the field opposite any damn body. The guy hasn't played in years. Usually he winds up getting torched if somebody can take him up, up top. So if this kid Rager plays, Rager gonna blow by him. K1 is questionable with hip injury. But if K1 can't go, you guys got to remember when K1 doesn't play the slot, since we haven't called anyone up from the practice squad currently, at least as far as I know, I haven't seen or heard any reports. I know we signed Jamar Taylor to the practice squad, but we didn't call him up. So if K1 doesn't play the slot and we're down a slot DB, we will slide Jimmy Ward into that spot. And we'll go ahead and put Tarvarius Moore back there at safety in Jimmy's spot, and we'll be perfectly fine. Jimmy can play the slot, okay? Don't don't sleep on Jimmy Ward in that slot. He'll get your ass, okay? And Jimmy's a hitter. Jimmy wants to bang. He go in there. He gets in there on run plays. He gets in there, on the passing play. He does everything he needs to do. So I'm very confident in Jimmy Ward in the slot if that's what we need to do. So basically, those are kind of the things that we face. We do not have Dre Greenlaw again. So right now, I think we are running with Azeez Al-Shaair, Quan, and Fred. And Al-Shaair's been doing his thing. He's been doing all right. I'm not gonna lie, I feel confident that he can hold it down until Dre gets back. Hopefully, Dre will be back at least by the Miami game. So we're good. But, it is Miami, so, think about it. If we need to sit him, we're playing the Dolphins of all teams. So, outside of Devontae Parker, not really worried about their weapons. Not at all. And if anything, if they try to throw Matt Breida at us, the one thing is we played with we know him. So we know what his weaknesses are. And we know how to get him. The only issue is that motherfucker fast. So if Breida get out there and he get going, we ain't got a person on the squad that could catch him. Maybe Tarvarius Moore. Maybe. Because the cheetah get going. Okay? But back to this Philly situation. So Philly is 0-2-1 in 3 games. They lost to Washington, the Washington football team, by 10. They lost to the Rams by 12. They tied with the Bengals. Let me tell y'all something. The Bengals have just been the basement of the NFL for a very long time. Joe Burrow is over there doing everything he can to get them a W, and I can tell you right now, the kid's going to be something special. He looks really good. He is not a guy who likes to lose, and he is not about to sit up there and take that for too much longer. He going to make it happen. He going to try to find a way to get the W, so you got to give him that much respect. But 0-2-1 for a team coming into the season, they, pretty much said that they would win the NFC East, and they were damn near dubbed, automatically into the playoffs. Don't look that way right now. Carson Wentz playing like hot shit on a stick. Okay, he is horrible right now. Over the past 3 years, Carson Wentz has been averaging 7 interceptions for the year. He's at 6, people. He's tied with Kirk Cousins for the most interceptions thrown in the league right now. You know what that tells me? We should get a couple of picks, and Dante Johnson should have at least one of them. I've seen him, man, and he looks bad. He's got a 59.8 completion percentage, 3 TDs, 6 interceptions. He's been sacked 11 times. His QBR is 35.5. That's no bueno, people. His QB rating 63.9. You know what I mean? Their little running back, Miles Sanders, he will play. 38 carries, 190 yards, 5 yards per carry. He's got a fumble. Their leading receivers, Dallas Goedert, who's 13 catches, 138 yards with a TD for the season. Zach Ertz, 15 catches, 130 yards, TD for the season. Deshaun Jackson, who won't be playing, 10 catches, 121 yards. So you got to think about it. They don't really have any receivers. They run mostly with their tight ends. So we just have to play solid and sound coverage with these tight ends. We got to be smart about it. Quan and Fred and Aziz are going to have their hands full, kind of keeping these tight ends in check, and we'll let Dante and Jason go out there and take care of these receivers, whatever receivers they may have. But the thing we got to worry about with Philly is what? Their defense. So we're going to go through just some quick numbers here. So defense has allowed a 66.7 completion percentage for, opposing quarterbacks, 673 yards, 6 TDs. They have no interceptions. They've allowed a QB rating of 108.2 for the season, which is fantastic because that means Nick Mullins should have a wonderful, wonderful day. They've allowed 9 plays of 20-plus yards, 1 play of 40-plus yards. They do have 12 sacks as a squad. So that's what I mean with their defense. And the way that their sacks are working right now, guys, it's not just one person. It's actually a host of people. They've got a sack by committee type situation right now. So Brandon Graham has 3 sacks. Josh Sweat has 2. Fletcher Cox has 1. And you got a bunch of other dudes with half a sack. So their defense, their front 7 is pretty formidable. On the back end, you have Darius Slay, but opposite him, I don't even know who they're gonna put in there because the kid Avonte Maddox is not playing. So it's just basically that's how it's working. They're 24th in the league offensively. 24th. That is not becoming of a team that's supposed to win the NFC East and go to the playoffs. Although they're 5th in the league in defense. You see what I'm saying? So That's the hard part there. They've allowed a total of 992 yards for the whole season. They've allowed 319 rushing. I already told you the passing. But here's the bigger thing. 87 points allowed. So you're fifth in defense in the league, but you've allowed 87 points over that's averaging teams are averaging 29 points a game on them. So we should be fine. We should be perfectly fine. And then the worst thing about it, man, the turnover differential is trash. -7. No interceptions. 1 fumble. That's no bueno. No bueno whatsoever. Now, with Philly, like I said, the front seven is what we need to worry about because they do get after the quarterback. They do good things on their defense. Their offense, I'm not so worried about. Miles Sanders getting off and doing much. I mean, with a subpar offensive line, I'm not going to be too worried about that. I know that for us, we have so many people out, but it hasn't mattered. It hasn't stopped us. We've been looking fantastic, even with all of the people that we have out. You got to think about it. We lost our bookend defensive ends for the year. We lost Nick Bosa. He's down with an ACL, gone. And I'm pretty sure he already had surgery, so he's on the recovery path. Hopefully, kid can get it right and get going. But he has had an injury history. We knew that when we drafted him. He had an injury in high school. He had injuries in college. And this is his first one in the pros. So that's unfortunate that we lost him for the year, but then we lost Dee Ford. And see, they're not saying that we lost Dee Ford for the year, but guys, Dee Ford gone for the year. Okay? The reason I never liked that trade in the first place is because of his injury history. And see, my thing is you tear ACL, you know what I'm saying? You kind of go 4, 5, 6 years, then you have another injury. All right, it's cool. His whole career, he's been injury prone on a continual basis. The only year he was healthy for pretty much most of the year was that last year in Kansas City. Last year with us, he missed a ton of games. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can look at the stats, the numbers, and the figures and say, well, when he's in the game, damn, man, he makes an impact. But if you ain't never in the damn game to make the impact, what's the point? So for me, I'm pretty sure what they're going to do is they'll hold him out, continue to BS us with excuses, as far as the press conferences go. And then what we should do, what they most likely would do, and I'm just going to call this now, they'll keep him through the rest of the year. And then at the end of the year, they'll cut him. There's been too many reports stating that this injury that he has is career ending. And I don't know whether it's his neck, I don't know whether it's his back, whatever it is. I wish I got nothing but the best. Anything I say about any of these players is nothing personal. I'm thinking from a standpoint of a fan who wants players that are going to be able to be on a field and produce and do it on a consistent basis. And I'm sorry, Dee Ford is not produced for us on a consistent basis at all. He'll have last year he had that couple game stretch. We was looking good. He went down. Nick had to carry the load. And we didn't have another dude that was a bookend like that was going to, produce the way that he did. But we still made it through the season. We still went on that streak. We didn't, when we had that little 3-game little slot where we had to play, I believe it was the Pack, the Saints, and the Ravens. But I mean, shit, everybody was like, "Oh, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna?" We came out on top of that. We barely lost that Ravens game. Bobby makes a field goal. We in OT with them. Marcel Harris strips Lamar Jackson. See what I'm saying? These things don't hold us back. We really deep. We're very deep, guys. So that's the one thing that you can always rest assured in. We're always extremely deep. So I'm not worried about that. our defense is definitely going to look really good. And we should be perfectly fine. I believe that we can hold it down against the Eagles because we're not asking Dante to cover Deshaun Jackson. We're not asking him to cover Michael Thomas or DeAndre Hopkins, or guys like that. We're asking him to cover just a basic, everyday, regular receiver. You know, hopefully it's a situation where if Jalen Reagor is in the game and he's their number one receiver, we have Jason Verrett follow him. I don't need Robert Sala's. If you play the scheme the right way, uh, and everybody does their job, it works. I don't need that. I don't need that this week. I don't need to watch Dante Johnson get torched and, watch Carson Wentz back there just dropping dimes to his ass. So we need to make sure that Jason follows, their number one receiver around, and we can get that taken care of. But flipping over to the other side of the ball, Nick Mullins played admirably. He probably would have had 2 TDs had that other touchdown not been called back. Jet McKinnon has looked fantastic so far this year. Very consistent through 3 games. Done a great job when it comes to that. I can't be mad at him about anything that he's done so far. So that has been a beautiful thing. Jumping over to us, as far as our defense and what we do, we're number 3 in the league. We've allowed a total of 912 yards, 562 passing, 350 rushing. We've only allowed 46 points, meaning we're averaging about 15 points per game that we give up. Turnover differential is beautiful. It's a +3, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. We've only got 5 sacks. Kerry Hyder has 2. DJ Jones, Eric Armstead, and Deion Jordan all have 1. Our tackles for a loss, guys. Kerry Hyder again with 3. DJ Jones with 2. Deion Jordan and Dre Greenlaw, Eric Armstead, and Fred Warner all have 1. So we're doing what we need to do as a defense to be able to get in the backfield and make the stops and make the plays, and we do what we need to do, and we're looking very good on that end. There's nothing negative to say about that. Once again, the injury list is horrible. It sucks, but we got to keep rolling, man. It's next man up. You have to think about it. We're starting Nick Mullins, who is our backup quarterback. We are starting Jerick McKinnon, Jeff Wilson Jr., and JaMycal Hasty, which would basically be 3rd, 4th, and 5th string backs. You know what I'm saying? We're starting our backup center because Weston Richburg still isn't back, and him and Ronald Blair are on the mend. Kyle Shanahan said it himself. There have been no setbacks in their recovery, so they're looking good. They're on track to be back by at least week 6, week 7. We've been out there starting. We're now basically starting our 3rd and 4th DB. We're starting a 2nd string weak side linebacker. This team is deep. We do not have problems. When guys go down, we just say, hey, get in there, do your job. The only thing that I will say is there's been a couple of times this season where I have seen Kyle take his foot off the gas. I need Kyle to just hang out with Belichick, bro. I really do. And I know what y'all are thinking when I say that, but this is not, I'm not saying for him to learn how to cheat. I'm saying for him to get that mindset that Belichick has is, I'm going to put my foot on your throat until you turn blue, and just when you think I'm about to let up, I will make sure I watch you take your last breath. I need him to keep his foot on the gas at all times. Don't get comfortable. And he get comfortable too often, man. And he was like, oh, we'll just run it out. We'll just do this. We'll just do that. No, Kyle. Keep your foot on the gas. So, the beauty of it is you get Debo back. You get George Kittle back. So if you run in 2 tight end set with George Kittle and Ross Dwelley played very good last week. So I'm not worried about him. I'm perfectly fine with that. You still got juice in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Jet been looking great. Jeff Wilson looks great. That motherfucker's so shifty out there, I don't even think people want to try to tackle him. You got to think about it. We got the weapons. And then if you put Debo and Brandon Ayuk on the field and then just slide in Trent Taylor or KB in the slot, you can forget it. Now, with Debo being activated, that gives us Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Mohamed Sanu, Kendrick Bourne, Trent Taylor. There's this one guy I want to talk about. I just found out some very interesting news about him. Shout out to Grant Cohn. Last guy, his name is Dante Pettis. Now y'all all know how I feel about Mr. Pettis. Dante came in this season. He's cut his hair. His hair is one color, which is a good thing. Sat down in his interview with the tie-dye shirt, a little kitty cat on the pocket. All off season, Dante has been taking pictures, learning how to be a photographer, baking cookies, playing with his cats. He had one day in training camp where he showed that he had a little bit of balls. Ward picked him off, told him catch that next time. He gets Ward on the next play, talks a little crap. That's the last we hear. All season long, non-existent, null and void. Then, you got to think about it. He's the odd man out. We already have 5 wide receivers. So what's that going to make you, Dante? Irrelevant. It's going to push you to being inactive, and or we might just throw you on the practice squad if you feel like it. Here's another thing that really pissed me off about Dante. So Dante decides, and this is everybody's choice. They can do what they want. Dante say, man, I'm going to get in a relationship. I'm going to date me, a beautiful young lady, But it's a Seahawks cheerleader. So first of all, you come in on the back end of your rookie season, show a flash of what we might have had and why we traded up to get you. Everybody says, okay, this could be the dude that, starts next season and makes it happen. No. Complete regression. Showed nothing. Wind up getting relegated to being on the bench and inactive for most of the games. Inactive for the Super Bowl. So he comes in his interview and says, Kyle was coaching me really hard, and I had to have someone kind of let me know and work with me and tell me that it's that it wasn't personal, that it was more so he was just trying to get more out of me, and okay, look, okay, I took a lot of flack for that last time. I really don't care how people feel. I'm not making fun of anybody who has any type of disabilities. I'm not. I have people who have disabilities in my family. I've said that before. I'll say it again. I'm just basically saying the dude's a chump, and he shouldn't be playing football. He should go do something else like bake cookies or fucking take pictures and play with his cats. Football is not for him. It's not. The dude doesn't do anything. He's a worthless waste of space on our team, and he's taking up a roster spot that somebody else could probably have. At this point, even with the miscues and mishaps Jauan Jennings had, I'd rather call him up from the practice squad and have him inactive and possibly active on the day rather than having Dante Pettis. And you gonna start dating a Seahawks cheerleader? Are you fucking serious? Now we know Dante went to Washington for college, so he probably got family up there, and he's probably got ties. So if you want to date the Seahawks cheerleader, take your ass over there to the punk ass Seahawks with her. Okay? I ain't got nothing against the girl. I don't know her. I don't know nothing about her. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I seen the picture. She alright. ain't nothing to fall out over. Not, at least not for my life. You know what I'm saying? I like a thick one. I ain't got no time for that little skinny stuff. That ain't making no sense to me. But that's what I'm saying. Shit like that. But now, because everybody's active, you get pushed down to the back. You literally on the back of the bus now. You gotta think about it. And if he's inactive for games and shit like that, like he just gonna be sitting on the sideline, he gonna be happy. He ain't gonna be doing shit to try to get in the game. He's not gonna do anything in practice to beat out anyone or prove that he's better than anybody. You've been relegated to sitting on the fucking bench as it is. You barely get in the game. You come in for a punt return and then don't even do shit. This is the stuff I'm talking about, people. So, at the end of the day, this should be a beautiful and smooth, easy W for us, okay? We're going to pick off Carson Wentz a few times. We're going to make his life a living hell with the defensive line that we have. We're back on grass. We don't have to worry about guys getting injured because the turf is shit. But Dante Pettis, man, you disappoint yet again. You already suck. You already ain't doing nothing. Then you run off and go start dating a damn cheerleader. Come on, man. You got to get your priorities in line, young blood. You don't know what you're doing with your life. I don't know where your daddy at, but he need to go and jump on your head. Slap some sense into. No, don't slap him. Don't slap him. He gonna get sensitive. He gonna cry, and that's gonna go left. Somebody might need to sit down and talk with him. Talk to your therapist. Do something, bro. But this is bullshit. You sit there, you suck ass on the field, you happy on the sidelines, then you come in an interview and say it took you to the Super Bowl for you to figure out that sitting on the bench wasn't a good thing. Like, this, come on, man. More and more disappointment. Now you buried on the depth chart. You can't climb your way back up that, because Debo ain't giving up his spot. Neither is Brandon. Trent done already shitting on you, and he ain't even been healthy in the last couple of years. We already know KB ain't fucking with you like that. You know what I'm saying? And shit, they brought in Muhammad. Do you really think they would have brought in Muhammad Sanu if they had faith that that Dante Pettis was going to be good enough to be able to hold down the squad? They wouldn't have. But that's what it is, man. I say we go ahead and win this game 34-6. That's it. Eagles are done. They are cooked. That's it. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day, a wonderful afternoon. And get ready tomorrow, man, because tomorrow night, we're going to be on national television whooping they ass.